So Clyde, first of all, can you tell us about your Parkinson's diagnosis?
Yeah, I was first diagnosed 6 years ago. Got up to speak in a public forum and I started to shake. Really unusual for myself. So then it started the doctor and the neurologist, and it come down as a positive for Parkinson's.
And how old were you at the time?
44, quite young I thought at that age, and not something, I've been bulletproof healthy all my life, and something that was way out of the blue for myself.
Oh my goodness. Did it take long to get diagnosed?
No, for myself it came on very quickly, and the diagnosis was quite succinct, that it was Parkinson's. Yeah, it could have been motor neurone, could have been another brain tumour area. So in the end of the day, out of the three, Parkinson's is not a bad choice.
Yes, definitely the better of the three options. And so were you involved in Shake It Up beforehand, or how did Shake It Up come about?
Yeah, Shake It Up come about simply because after I was diagnosed, I wanted to be able to do one thing, and that was make a difference. I didn't want to be Clyde with Parkinson's, I wanted to be Clyde that did something about Parkinson's. And for myself, it was a simple three-step process. You know, if we wanted to find a cure, which was unbelievable to me at the time that Parkinson's had no cure, we had to do research. If we had to do research, we had to raise funds. As what I found is we had some fantastic researchers around Australia, but all of them underfunded. And how do we be able to give them an opportunity to be able to create a difference as we punch above our weight in research in Australia?
And so what was the sort of timeline involved in all of that?
Well, it took us about a year to be able to get ourselves set up as a foundation. And what we did is we got the support of the Michael J. Fox Foundation out of the US. What Fox Foundation gave us was strategic alignment as to what research was happening around the world, but it also gave us dollar for dollar funding inside Australia. So all of our research is done inside Australia, but it's match funds that come from the Fox Foundation and ours.
Oh, great. And so what are some of the different research projects that you're funding?
Well, we've got 12 research projects around Australia. We've invested over $2 million worth of research right here in Australia, and again, with another $2 million coming from Fox, it's $4 million that wouldn't have been seen in research in Australia. Different projects, we've got work on with the Garvan, we've got work on with Neura in Sydney, we've got work in Melbourne at the Florey, and also at places like Macquarie University. So Macquarie, we're doing a project which is called Parkinson's, or PPMI, Parkinson's Progression Markers Initiative. And what that's about is how to be able to understand the biomarkers for progression of Parkinson's. So we can speed the way to be able to do drug trials and also understand when people are getting the symptoms of Parkinson's. So can we stop it pre-symptom? So Parkinson's doesn't get known to the person until we've lost 70% of the dopamine production. If we can find it anywhere prior to that and slow it down, we will never have the symptoms of the disease.
Gosh. And what are the treatments for Parkinson's at the moment?
Yeah, one of our challenges is that it's seen that we can treat the disease. We can't. We can treat the symptoms of the disease. So what that does for us is it allows us a period of time to be able to treat with a levodopa drug that does actually replace the dopamine that's been lost in the brain, that creates a lot of other side effects as the years roll on. So it's fantastic to have, but it's definitely not the cure that we all seek.
Okay. For people who don't actually know what Parkinson's is, they might know the word but not and that you shake. Can you explain a little bit about the relationship with dopamine and that sort of thing?
Yeah, like Parkinson's I knew nothing about when I was actually diagnosed as well. It's a pretty simple disease. It's the death of the substantia nigra, which stops creating enough dopamine. Dopamine actually creates a communication between the brain and the actual communication system in the rest of the body. So it could be to tell the muscles to expand or contract, and at that time you'll get shaking because of that loss of signal. Or you may have rigidity because of that loss of signal and both sides of the muscle have tensioned up. But it goes much, much further than that. It's a whole of body disease. There's a significant other issues with Parkinson's as the years roll on.
So at 44, it sounds like you were pretty young to be diagnosed with Parkinson's. What's the sort of earliest that somebody could expect to be diagnosed?
Yeah, I still think I'm pretty young now. But no, at 44 we were diagnosed. Michael J. Fox was diagnosed at 28. So there's over 20% of us are diagnosed under 50. 30 people a day are diagnosed with Parkinson's in Australia. So it's a significant disease. And some significant amount of those now are being coming on earlier and early onset Parkinson's.
What sort of impact does Parkinson's have on your life?
it has a different impact on everyone's life. For myself, I've been pretty fortunate. I've got a good circle of family, a good circle of friends, and that makes a big difference. But it drastically affects people's lives. You know, from people that can no longer go to work, earn a living, and create an opportunity for their family, it just stops their life in its tracks. And it's one of the saddest things, I think, is that people stop living and they start living with Parkinson's.
And so why is it important that we invest in medical research?
Yeah, for ourselves, I suppose, when you look at that, we need to give people hope, but true hope. And that true hope comes from knowing there's ways to slow, stop and cure Parkinson's. It's how do we stop those 30 people a day coming into the Parkinson's community, and how do we be able to rectify the issue with Parkinson's, create a cure to create a better quality of life for everyone that has it.